So we'll go into our Hatha yoga for the arms and shoulders. So we can start that with circling the arms. So we'll do both at the same time. We'll do 6. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and the last one. And then the other direction. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the scarecrow, where we bring the elbows out to the sides and work the elbows. So again, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and the last one. And then the other direction, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then hands on the collarbones and exhale the elbows together, inhale the elbows out to the side, and 4 or 5 times. Really inhaling fully and then exhaling fully, pulling the stomach in. And then big circles with the elbows, getting the maximum amount of movement, range of movement into the shoulder joints. And reversing it. Okay, so then we can go into the hyperbolic stretching. So just clapping the hands in front and then bringing them back nice and wide. And then we overlap. So we hug ourselves and then we hug ourselves in the opposite direction. And 6 each way. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and the last one. And then clapping in front and behind. And then it's scooping up the water with one hand and then the other, and throwing it over your shoulder. And then we can work on the wrists. So one hand on top of the other, making a circle, and then making a circle in the opposite direction. And then working the wrists so that one wrist is extended while the other wrist is flexed. Just holding it for a moment. And then pushing both palms down towards the floor so that both wrists are being worked. And then bringing it up into a reverse of the way we started. And then we just work it into a nice flow. And then in the other direction. Okay, so we've worked arms and shoulders and wrists, elbows. We can work on our legs. So if we go down and just lying on the mat and leaning to one side so that you're resting on your right forearm, and then you bring your left knee up and drop it down to the side and back up again 6 times. You know, 5 or 6. Always, as you know, adjust to suit what feels right for you and what speed you want to work at. So our last one, and then the same on the other side. Okay, and then we've been working these addenda muscles on the inside of the thighs, so we're going to continue to work them, giving them the resistance of the hands to work against. So we lie on our backs, we have the hands on the inside of the knees, and then we slowly release the knees, but sort of fighting against the hands all the way, until we get to a point where we're feeling a nice opening of the hip joints, and then we slowly fight our way back again. And same twice more, just nice slow, almost an isometric exercise. And then the abductor muscles, the ones on the outside of the thighs. So for those, we come back into a tabletop position and bring the left leg out to the side 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then we separate the knees as wide as we can so that we're on the edge of our comfort zone and feel that nice stretch. We can have the calves parallel, come down onto our forearms, and then just rock backwards and forwards a few inches. And we want to be able to feel that we're working those hip joints, but not to the point of pain, just the point of, well, that's the phrase, isn't it? The edge of the comfort zone, that's what we're looking for. Okay, then we come back into tabletop and we take the left knee out to the side and hold it there for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then on the other side, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we come back into that position with the knees widely separated, come down onto the forearms, and then push the knees down into the mat for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then we can come back up into a sitting position and go into our more traditional sequence for the ankles, knees and hips. And we'll just take hold of the toes and go in straight into ankle cranking. So making circles of the foot, 4 to 5 in one direction, 4 to 5 in the opposite direction. And then bringing the right foot close in to us and gently bouncing the right knee in our half lotus pose. And then we take a good grip of the right foot, fingers across the top, thumbs across the sole of the foot. We make 4 or 5 circles towards us. And then 4 or 5 circles away. Then we change the position of the hands on the foot so that the fingers are on the sole of the foot, and we bring that knee back behind us and then straighten the leg out again and just work those piston-like movements again 4 or 5 times. And then we go into our rock the baby pose, so using our hands on the knee and the foot or our elbows on the knee and the foot, and rock from side to side. And we'll miss out the raising of the foot. We go straight on to the other side. So left ankle above the right knee, and then taking hold of the top of the foot and ankle cranking 4 to 5 circles in one direction, 4 or 5 circles in the opposite direction. Then again we pull the foot in close and gently bounce that left knee. Okay, and we take hold of the foot and 4 or 5 circles towards us. Four or 5 circles away. Four or 5 piston-like movements, pulling that knee back underneath the armpit. And then we have our rock the baby, using hands or the insides of the elbows. Rocking from side to side. Okay, and then we can stretch out both legs and take the right foot or the right ankle. What we're going to do basically is hold on to that and then straighten the leg so that we're pulled forwards into a forward bend and then come back again. So you can either take hold of the foot or take hold of the ankle, take hold of the calf, and then hang on to that as you move it backwards and forwards 4 or 5 times. And then it's the same on the other side. So good grip on foot, ankle or calf, and then allowing that straightening of the leg to pull you forward just as far as you want to go. So if you can't straighten the leg, that's fine. Or maybe adjust the position of your hands on the leg. Last one. Okay, then we can bring the soles of the feet together, hands around the toes, pulling the heels in close or forming a diamond shape with the legs, and then either relaxing the knees towards the floor or bouncing the knees up and down. And then hands to the outside of the knees, bring the knees together, stretching the legs out and coming into the 9 exercises that we use in Drew Yoga. So starting with hugging the knee to the chest for 4 to 5 breaths. And then the same on the other side. And then we want to work the thigh joints, the hip joints, in a different direction. So we can go into the Maltese cross with the right foot tucked underneath the left knee and bringing the right knee over to the left, or we can roll right over onto the left side, pin the right knee to the mat and drop the right shoulder back in the supine spinal twist. So being aware of that nice twist in the spine, relaxing into it, not forcing. Using props if you like, remember, whether it's cushions under your knee or under your shoulder. Okay, and then same on the other side, Maltese cross or supine spinal twist. Okay, the third of these 9 exercises is the core work. So soles of the feet on the floor and then lifting the tailbone, pulling in the pelvic floor, pushing the small of the back down into the mat, and we hold the pelvic floor tense for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathing normally throughout, we raise and pull in the pelvic floor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final time, raising the tailbone. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And then we come into the fourth exercise, and Anne is demonstrating the spiral. I'll do the head to knee.
So for the spiral, you're lying on one side, knees drawn up, arms stretched out in front. As you inhale, you're going to raise the upper arm, watching the thumb all the way up to 12 o'clock, and then exhale down behind you as far as you can reach. It doesn't matter if you need to bend the arm to get it as far back. Inhale back up to 12 o'clock and exhale back down together 3 or more times each side.
Or head to knee position starts off from staff pose, bringing the sole of one foot to the inside of the other thigh, and then flowing forwards and then stretching up again. Exhale as you come forwards, inhale as you stretch, or we inhale up, we exhale and flow forwards, and then take hold as far down the leg as we can. We hold that pose momentarily, and then on an inhale we come back onto the left forearm, raise the hips and stretch all the way down the right side, and then exhale back into our head to knee. And twice more, inhale and stretch, exhale, head to knee. And on this last one, we hold the head to knee for a moment. And we're aware of the stretch in the hamstring and in the small of the back. And then we inhale, straightening and stretching up, and it's the same on the other side. So, inhaling up, exhaling, folding forwards, and flowing through it or holding briefly, and then onto the right forearm and stretch the left side. And on the third one, holding. And straightening and stretching, and then coming into our back bends. So a choice between Sphinx Seal and Cobra. Sphinx, fingers spread out, elbows under the shoulders and then at the side of the mat, and coming up into a position looking straight ahead. Seal, thumbs point straight ahead, and we straighten the arms and we come up looking slightly upwards. Cobra, hands under the shoulders, elbows tucked into the ribs, and using the back muscles initially for the lift, and then the arms complete the lift, and then rolling the spine down again. So, 3 times, inhale up, exhale, rolling the spine down, and then turning the head to one side. Inhale up again. Exhale, rolling the spine down, turning the head to the other side. Inhale up. And exhale the final time, folding the arms, resting the forehead on the forearms. And taking an opportunity to relax the small of the back initially. And then when you're comfortable there, turning your attention to your shoulders and the back of your neck. Or alternatively going into the pelvic raise. So for that we have we're on our backs, knees up in the air, soles of the feet on the floor, and we lift the tailbone and peel the spine up off the mat, push down through the feet, and then roll the spine back down again. And twice more, inhale up, and exhale, rolling the spine down. Okay. That then brings us to the versions of the locust or the tiger. So for the locust, we've got the mini locust, toes tucked underneath, heels pushed away, tensing all the muscles from hip to heel. Or diagonal locust, all limbs stretched out, raising right arm and left leg, and then left arm and right leg, or all four limbs, or
we can go into tiger, coming from tabletop, stretching out one leg and the diagonally opposite arm, choosing whether to look down at the mat or to look straight ahead, and then just holding for 3 or 4 breaths. When you've finished on this side, come out very gently, releasing without springing, ready to change over. Extend the other leg, the other arm, and again make that choice whether to look ahead or down, and it doesn't have to be the same choice as the last time. And hold. And again, releasing gently when you're coming out. And then from whichever position you've been in, coming into tabletop, ready for cat-cow. So for cat-cow, we're going to arch the back as we exhale, dropping the head. Exhale completely. And then as you start the inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest and the chin. Nice, long, deep breath. This exercise is done slowly and mindfully, and is of great benefit to the spine.
And our alternative to cat-cow is the thread the needle pose, which works on knees and hip joints. So we start off lying on our back, one knee in the air, and we bring the right ankle to just above the left knee so that we can push the right knee away and check the knee joint and the hip joint. And then if that feels good, we can take on to the next stage, the right hand going through underneath the right calf, and we pull the left knee towards us with both hands for 4 or 5 breaths. And here we can focus on knee joint or hip joint or the outside of the right thigh. Okay, and swapping over to the other side, left ankle above the right knee, gently pushing the left knee away a few times, and either sticking with that or left hand underneath the left calf and pull the right knee to us for 4 or 5 breaths. And then we can come out of that and we'll miss out the child or extended child and go straight on to our earth sequence. So feet close together, interlink the fingers, inhale the palms up to the chin, turn the palms over and exhale down. Inhale the palms forwards and overhead. Exhale the hands out to the sides and down. And you can imagine inhaling silver energy up the spine and exhaling it down again. Inhale the palms forwards and overhead. Exhale out to the sides, building a silver bubble of immunity around you. And last one. And then we take a slightly wider stance Ready to bend the knees and bring the palms down as low as you like. Inhale up to the chin, turn the palms over, exhale down. Inhale the palms forwards and overhead, exhale out to the sides and around. And last one. Then we bring a forward bend into the exercise. So, inhale up to the chin, turn the palms over, exhale down. Inhale the palms forwards and overhead, exhale out to the sides and around. And again, it's 4 of those. Last one. And then we turn the right foot out to the right. Inhale the palms up to the face, turn the palms away from us, exhale forwards and up. Inhale to the vertical, exhale the arms out to the sides and down. 3 more of those, looking for a nice, steady, continuous flow. Last one. And the same to the other side. Inhaling up, exhaling forwards and up, inhaling to the vertical, exhaling around. Okay, so then we'll move on to our Qigong, and for that I thought I'd do some Lee Holden exercises rather than the usual format, but we start off with spinal breathing, which I first learned from Lee Holden anyway. So for that we bring the forearms together, pull in the stomach, exhale fully. And inhale, watching the left hand come out to the side, and then exhale forwards, emptying the lungs, pulling the stomach in. Inhale, watching the right hand come out to the side, exhale forwards. Once more to each side, noticing if you can feel the shoulder blades coming together behind you as you inhale. Pulling the stomach in as we exhale. Then we'll add the twist. So we inhale, but we watch the left hand until it's behind us, and exhale to the front. Inhale, watching the right hand till it's behind us, and exhale to the front. And once more to each side. Okay, and then we go into knocking on the door of life. So for that we can start off just swinging the arms, nice wide stance, just swinging the arms from side to side, nice relaxed arms. And then as we're swinging from side to side, we can bring the back of the hand up to just tap at the side, the opposite side of the spine, and those points just about where the adrenal glands, the top of the kidneys are. They're called the door of life. And then while we're doing that, we can just with the hand at the front, just tapping at the side of the ribs here. We're still adding that gentle twist to the side, to the spine, as we're moving from side to side. And then we can tap a little bit higher on the chest, so just underneath the collarbone. Still tapping on the door of life behind us. We can tap a bit higher, just up at the side of the neck, and we can open the hand for that one. And then back down to the ribs. And then just letting the hands float around. And as they're floating around, just being aware of the air passing through the fingers and maybe feeling a bit of a glow, a bit of a tingle of chi energy in your hands. Okay, let's move on to more work with the spine. So we have a nice wide stance and we bend the knees and place the hands just above the knees on each side. And then we bring one shoulder forwards and look over the other shoulder. And then we bring the opposite shoulder forwards and look back over the first one. So we're just gently swaying from side to side and gently stretching one side, breathing into it, bringing those shoulders forwards, getting a nice twist into the spine, right up into the neck. And then once more to each side. And then we take our hands into fists and we straighten the legs and we just bang gently on the backs of the knees. And then we massage the calves. And then from there, we join the hands in front of us. We inhale as we come up, bringing the hands up, stretching up, and then exhale, folding forwards. So bend the knees, then straighten as you inhale up and stretch. Exhale, bending the knees, coming down. This is called the full body flow. Stretching up, bending the knees and flowing down. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, coming up. Nice and steady. It's not a speedy movement, as it very rarely is in Qigong, unless we're doing warm-ups. And one more. And then we finish with the hands overhead and the palms towards the ceiling. We exhale as we bring the hands down behind the neck and come into a semi-squat. And we inhale, stretching up again. So we do 5 or 6 of those stretches as we inhale up and exhaling down. Okay. And the next one is the one where we inhale up and then we exhale, and we put a little bounce into the movement. So we inhale up and exhale, inhale and exhale. Okay, and then we place the hands, so we finish in that sort of bent forward position, and we place the hands on the knees, and then we focus on breathing into the area just where the kidneys are, just at the base of the ribs. And in fact, you might prefer to just place your hands below your ribs so you can feel. As you breathe in deeply, you'll feel that area expanding. So it's just at the base of the ribs there we're feeling. So we're very aware of breathing into that area of the lungs, the lower area of the lungs of that. And then what we do is we pat that area, and then from there we work the hands down the outside of the legs and then back up on the inside of the legs, around the side of the belly to the back, and then again back down the back of the legs, up the inside of the legs, around to the back, the kidneys. The last one down the back of the legs, up the inside, and then up at the top of the chest here. So just soft pats with the fists. And then we open the hands, open one arm down to the side, and we pat from the neck down the inside of the arm, and then back up the outside of the arm. And again down the inside, back up the outside. And 3 times each side. And then across the chest, same on the other side. Okay, then we go on to some balance work. So you may remember the crane saws, and that's the one where we come onto one leg and inhale as the arms and knee go up, and exhale as it comes down, and the arms sort of create that flowing action. We can do it like that, or if you're uncomfortable with your balance, bring one foot forwards and you can still come up and down like that. Or if you prefer, you can just have a hand against a wall or a chair and rotate your feet. We're going to do 5 on one side and then 5 on the other. So, inhaling up and exhaling. 2, inhale and exhale. 4, and the last one we'll swap over, exhaling down, inhaling, Okay, so from the start, from the crane soars, we go into the stalk, spreading its wings. So for that one, we inhale and push the left palm high and the right knee high and the right palm low. And then we swap over and we spiral the hands as we do so, so that as the hands are passing the face, the little finger is facing us. And again, if you're uncomfortable with your balance, forget about that. Just focus on the arm movement. And then from here we can go into one of my favourites, the fountain, because there are so many, well, there are two derivatives from it, aren't there? So nice wide stance for the fountain. Inhale, bringing the backs of the hands together and up. Exhaling, turning the palms out to the sides and down. So inhaling up, exhaling down. Nice and slow and steady, and just enjoying that flowing, floating movement. Now, one of the movements that you can derive from this is the one-handed fountain, if you like, where one hand comes down to the lower dantian and the other hand comes up and then twists the palm away and down and brings it round, and then it takes the place of the other hand and we inhale that one up and out to the side and down. We just alternate. And one more to each side. And then the other movement deriving from this is, of course, embrace the tiger, return to the mountain. And that starts off in the same way, where we inhale, bringing both backs of the hands together, and then we exhale, turning the palms away from us and exhaling upwards. Inhale out to the sides and down, exhale out to the sides. Inhaling up, exhaling forwards and up. Inhale out to the sides and down. Exhale out to the sides, down. And one more. Okay, the next one's called pulling down the heavens. And so for that, we inhale as we bring the arms up, and then we exhale, bringing them down in the center. So it's very much a reversal of the fountain. Inhale the hands up, exhale down the center. Last one. And then we can go into the lotus, and we can do several of the lotus. So inhale, imagining bringing energy up from the earth, energy of stability to the heart, of security, of safety, of peace. And then exhale the hands down, around, and inhale, bringing down from the universe creativity, imagination and intuition, fingers and thumbs coming together at the heart. We send out love to our family and our friends, and then we bring it back to ourselves. We exhale down, we inhale, bringing energy up from the earth. Exhale, bringing energy down from the universe to the heart. Exhale out to our yoga group and local community. Inhale back to the heart. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale, bringing energy down to the heart. Sending it out globally for peace. And back to ourselves. Pausing momentarily. And then we can bring the feet together in the bamboo sways in the wind. We can have our hands together at the lower dantian, so just below your belly button. Your hands one on top of the other at that point. And then just closing your eyes and relaxing. Imagine, if you like, roots growing out from your heels into the earth, letting your weight tend towards your heels, so just leaning backwards enough to feel the weight going through the heels. And then imagine that stability provided by imaginary roots going right down into the earth. And allowing any natural swaying that occurs. And then we can go into our alignment. So we inhale, bringing the right arm out to the side and around, and then down the center, aligning mind, body and spirit. Bring the right hand to the lower dantian and bring the left hand out to the side and around and align. And then we bring both hands out to the side. We bring the right fist into the left palm and smile.